This is illustration number 16 for marginal costing. X Limited supplies spare parts to an aircraft company Y Limited. The production capacity of X Limited facilitates production of any one spare part for a particular period of time. The following are the cost and other information for the production of the two different spare parts A and B. Per unit cost is given to us. Data for per unit is given to us. Alloy usage for part A is 1.6 kgs and the same is for part B also. Machine time is there, machine P and machine Q. This means that the production of part A and B requires operation from two machineries, namely P and Q. The machine time of machine P is 0.6 hours per unit and for part B is 0.25 hours. Machine Q 0.5 hours, 0.55 hours. The target price is 145 rupees and 115 rupees. Total hours available for machine P is 4000 hours, for machine Q is 4500 hours. Alloy available is 13,000 kgs at the rate of 12.50 per kg. Variable overheads per machine hours: machine P 80 rupees per hour and machine Q 100 rupees per hour. So this is the rate of variable overheads per hour for machine P and machine Q. Now let's find out the requirement of this chapter of this question. The first requirement is identify the spare part which will optimize contribution at the offered price. So we are required to find out the production of that spare part which optimize the contribution, that means which maximize the contribution. Now let's see how can we do the same. In this kind of problem, first of all there is a limit of production. Our production capacity is limited by three things in this question. First of all, the material, alloy. The second one is machine time, and which is further bifurcated by machine P and machine Q, right? Now let's see how much unit we can produce for part A and part B by taking the limit by alloy usage. So the alloy available in total is 13,000 kgs, and the part A and part B requires same amount of alloy to be used, which is 1.5 kgs per unit. So how many units will be made by 13,000 kg alloy in total? So sir, 13,000 kg we are having in total, and we are dividing it by per unit consumption 1.6. That means that in total 8125 units can be manufactured by taking this 13,000 kgs alloy. This is the first thing. So by alloy part A and B, so by taking alloy as our limit, we can manufacture 8125 units, right? Now let's take machine P. If we talk about machine P and Q, how many units we can manufacture? So machine P requires 0.6 hours to manufacture one unit, and in total we are having 4000 hours. And one unit requires 0.6 hours. So how many units can be manufactured? So 4000 and one unit requires 0.6 hours. That means 6666 units can be manufactured. I am writing here 6666. I am not rounding it off to 6667. I am just taking 6666. Okay. Now let's see. And what about machine Q? Machine Q requires 0.5 hours to manufacture one unit. We are having in total 4005 hours. 0.5 hours is the time for one unit, so total 9000 units we can produce, right? Now let's talk about part B. So in this part A, we maximize our production to the lower of these three, right? So we can produce maximum 666 hours, okay, because we are having a limit of machinery P. Machinery P can only produce this much units. So that's why we are not going towards producing 9,000 units and this, because this machine P can only produce this much units. So this is our maximum production which we can do by part A. Now let's talk about part B also. So alloy, we have seen that 8125 units can be produced by that alloy. Now what about machinery P? Machinery P requires 0.25 to manufacture one part, right? And we are having in total how many hours? 4,000 hours. So 4,000 hours, and one unit will require 0.25. That means in total we can manufacture 16,000 units. Now let's see, we are having 4,500 hours of machine queue and each unit require 0.55 hours. That means we can manufacture 8181 units. So 8181 units we can manufacture, and we can manufacture the least of these three. That means 8125 maximum units we can manufacture, because alloy is we are having, because we are having alloy limited to 8125 units only. So how we can manufacture 8181 or 16,000 units, right? So this is our maximum production capacity. Now let's see that how much contribution we are getting on manufacturing this much units. So now let's see, right? So here I am writing for part A, and here I am writing for part B, right? Part A and part B. Now let's talk about the sale. How much sales we can make. So selling price for part A is 145, right? So 145 multiplied by how much unit we are selling? 6666 units. That means total sales is 9,66,570. So 9,66,570. What about part B? The selling price for part B is 115, and we are manufacturing 8125. This is our quantity which is ought to be sold. Now the total sales amount is 9,34,375. So 9,34,375. Now let's reduce the variable cost from here. Now first of all, the variable cost is material cost, right? So less variable cost. First of all, I am reducing the material cost. The material, how much material will be used? So we are manufacturing 6666 units. So 6666 units we are manufacturing, and one unit require how much kgs of material? One unit requires 1.6 kgs. So how much kgs will be required for to manufacture 6666 units? This much kgs, and each kg is priced to 80 rupees. Am I right or wrong? No, sorry. Sir, 12.50 is the price. 12.50 is the price. That means 1,33,320 is the material price, material cost. 1,33,320. Now let's talk about the overhead cost, right? Overhead cost, variable overhead cost for machinery P. So machinery P and machinery Q, right? So for machinery P, overhead cost, this is material cost, machinery P. Now machinery P, how much hours we are using to manufacture 666 hours for 6666 units? 0.6 hours for machinery P. 0.6 hours for machinery P. This much hours we are using, and 80 rupees is the cost per hour. So 80 rupees we are multiplying. So 3,19,968. 3,19,968. And for machinery Q, we are manufacturing 6666 units, and machinery Q will require 0.5 hours, and each hour is costing rupees 100. So that means the cost is 3,33,300. 3,33,300. Now let's find out the contribution from here, because no other cost is there, right? Okay, so we can get the contribution now. right? Quantity. Now let's first of all complete this also, the material cost. Here we are manufacturing 8125 units, okay, and one unit will require the same amount of alloy which is required for to manufacture part A. So this much kgs is to be used, and each kg is priced at 12.5. That means 1,62,500. 1,62,500 is our material cost. What about overhead cost? So 8125 units we are manufacturing, and each unit will require 0.25 hours of machine P. So that means this much hours is required, and machine P is having 80 rupees cost per hour. That means 1,62,500 is the cost for machinery P, and 8125 units require how much hours? This much hours of of machinery Q, and that is price per hour to be as 100. So then 446,875, 446,875 is the cost of using machinery P, machinery Q, and from here we can get the contribution amount. Now let's find out the contribution. So 9,66,000 and 570 minus 1,33,320 and minus 3,19,968, again reduce 3,33,300, 3,33,300. So 1,79,982 is our contribution. 1,79,982. 1,79,982 is our contribution. Now let's check the contribution from here also. 9,34,375 minus 1,62,500 minus 1,62,500 minus 446,875. Here we are getting 1,62,500 total contribution. So from here we can see that the part A should be manufactured by us, as the total contribution we are getting from part A is maximum as compared to part B. So definitely it is clear. This is our requirement number 1 which we have seen. Now let's see the requirement number 2 of this question. So second requirement says that sir, if Y Limited, so Y Limited is the company which is our purchaser of part A or part B. So Y Limited, that is our purchaser, reduces the price by 10%, okay, and offers us 60 rupees per hour of unutilized machine hour. Then we are required to calculate the total contribution from the spare part identified above. Now spare part identified above, that means from the first requirement, which spare part we have identified to manufacture, for that spare part only we are required to analyze or calculate the total contribution if this is the subjection, if this is subject to this condition, right? Okay, now the price is reducing by 10%, so we can reduce the price by 10%. Now the earlier price was 145. If we are reducing 10%, the new price is this much, and there we were manufacturing 6666 units. See, okay, that means our new sales will be 4 rupees 8,69,913. Let me just write down here that the new sales is 8,69,913. Our variable cost will remain same, na? Our material cost will remain same as it is, which is 1,33,300. 1,33,300. Our machinery cost will also remain same, right? Overhead cost, material, overhead for P and Q will remain same, that is 3,19,968 and 3,33,300. Now we are getting the contribution. This contribution figure will change, right? Now see how much contribute we are getting. First of all, 8,69,913, right? I'm sorry, 8,69,913. 8,69,913 minus 1,33,300 minus 3,19,968 19,968 minus 3,33,300. Okay, so 83,345 we are getting now. And it says that the 60 rupees is to be offered by the purchaser for unutilized machine hours. So now let's calculate the unutilized machine hours and add that amount in this, right? Add uh, recovery or amount paid for unutilized hours, for unutilized machine hours, okay. Now how much is our unutilized machine hours? So we are manufacturing 6666 units, and per each unit require zero point 0.6 hours. That means this much hours we have used, and just zero point 0.4 hours is our unutilized machine hours. So, and if we can round off it to 4,000, this is equivalent, and no amount we will get for this much unutilized machine hours, because this is insignificant. 60 rupees we are getting, then this will be 24. This is insignificant. So now let's talk about machinery Q. So machinery Q, we are producing 6666 units, and machinery Q will require zero point 0.5 hours for each unit. Now this much hours we are using, that means 4,005 hours in total we were having for machinery Q, and now the remaining hours is 1167, and for this we will get 60 rupees per hour amount. That means 70,020 rupees we will get. So let me just write down here that much amount, and this would be our total contribution now, right? Okay, now let's find out this. We have what we have done, 1167 multiplied by 60 rupees we have did, uh, we did. So here this much plus 83 and 345, 83 345, we are getting 153 153 365. So this is our contribution now. I think this is clear. Okay, thank you so much.